talk about intent versus impact, because as you're talking about the apology, sometimes what I'll hear from people as they have conversations or they call me is, I didn't intend to do that. I didn't do that on purpose, right? I didn't say this to intentionally hurt that person. It's just what I thought or what I felt. And so what we try to make is a distinction between intent versus the impact. So intention implies I did this action on purpose to hurt you versus I didn't intend to do it, but the impact was nonetheless just as critical because it had a negative impact on the person, right? So I may have used a phrase of words that were offensive to somebody else. And while I may not have intended it that way, is the impact of what I did any less severe to the other person? No. And I think in that instance, you can still have a really solid apology, right? You're not admitting that. What you're doing is you're admitting that the actions you've had an unintended consequence of hurting someone else. And so now you need to be able to do and adjust moving forward. And there becomes this argument back and forth of I shouldn't have to apologize and all that. At the end of the day, what I always try to remind people is, are we trying to be really great people and great human beings and stewards of the lives we've been gifted with and build relationships with people? Or are we trying to stand on principle for ourselves? And I think that comes back to the self-orientation part we talked about on the trust equation. So I would just really encourage all of our BrainWise friends to think about it from whether it's your perspective that you did something unintentionally that hurt someone else or that they did that to you. Is it intention or is it impact? And it doesn't mean it's any less severe or that there shouldn't be accountability, but it does change the perspective to some degree. Like I know, for instance, with my spouse, sometimes I will say things that I don't mean in the way that they land. And I still have to be accountable to it because I love my husband and I want to have a great relationship with him and I want to be a better human being. It doesn't mean that I did it on purpose, but it doesn't mean that my actions are any less impactful. So I think that distinction is really important for people as we talk about apologies.